USA, the United States of America, in the land of unlimited opportunities and big dreams, there's nothing that doesn't exist. That's what has always driven people in the US to strive for greater things and to go west in past centuries. Several routes back then led to the Golden State of California, but one stretch developed into the most famous road in the world today, the legendary Route 66. Built between 1926 and 38, the once pulsating main artery of the U.S. leads from Chicago some 4,000 kilometers through 9 states to Los Angeles. At the end of the 1970s, the big interstate highways were built, and that spelled the end for Highway 66. But that the myth of Route 66 is growing again is thanks to unique people.
It's probably one of the most exciting and dynamic roads in the world.
You've got a bit of America everywhere.
It's part of the United States' history.
People from all over the world think of America and they hear Route 66 and they know what it is.
They love it here.
It's exactly these people we want to get to know, to travel the legendary road and live it. In short, get a little closer at the myth of Route 66. And for this, we go on the best-known part of the route, which leads through Arizona and California. Our journey starts in the small town of Seligman. The sleepy little nest in Arizona is, if you like, the birthplace of today's mythical Route 66. The town was founded at the end of the 19th century, but like hundreds of small towns along the later Route 66, Seligman also lived off the through traffic that the old east-west connection led into the city. Then came the Interstate Highway 40, and from one day to the next, the place seemed to be consecrated.
We were not only bypassed, we were raped. When you ask me that questions, it makes me angry to think that the state was in such a hurry just to build that freeway. We were just forgotten, just completely forgotten.
Angel and his family lived from a small barber shop, but the bypass came and customers stayed away. Many of the resident families turned their backs on the town as well. He refused to accept that. Cut off from transit traffic, his hometown was about to die. He did not receive help from the district.
My girlfriend told me, Angel, if you can swim out of it, swim out of it. If you can't, drown. I was so lonesome. I was so sad that this little town where I was born was dead. 10 years I lived sad. Then I got angry at my government because they did not do anything for us.
Angel takes the destiny of the city into his own hands. He wants to build Seligman into a tourist place, a place where you can experience Route 66 again. And for this, he joins together with like-minded people from other small places and founds the Route 66 Association, the unification of Route 66 on February 18, 1987. They want to be taken seriously by the federal, state, and districts.
The state ignored us. They ignored us like we didn't exist. Perseverance, dedication, determination, desire. I did not give up. I stayed with it. As a group, the association, we stayed with it. The state finally made it historic December of 1987, the same year.
The persistence pays off, and shortly after being recognized by the Confederation, Angel and his colleagues create a wave of attention.
The news media was here thick with television, for books, for magazines. The rest of the world began to learn that Route 66 was not dead.
The media interest in Angel, his story, and his hometown is unbroken to this day, which is mute testimony to the wallpaper of countless business cards from journalists. The small town has already even managed Hollywood fame. The fictional city, Radiator Springs, from the Oscar-nominated animated film Cars, is based mainly on Seligman.
On Route 66, we have time to address the person. Other people have told me, I have been treated the same all the way from Chicago to here. We people on Route 66 are like one big family.
Angel's little barbershop has become a souvenir shop run by his children and grandchildren.
From the very beginning, when the tourists start coming back, up until today, I see nothing but happy, happy, happy people. People that appreciate what we, the people here, have done to preserve a little bit of America.
The 90-year-old takes time for photos, patiently answers questions, and enjoys it when people enjoy his city and the street. He has become an attraction in his own right.
Back then, this highway was just used by the traveler. He had to use it. There was no way, if he was going from Los Angeles to Albuquerque, he had to use this highway. Now, people are getting off I-40 to come and travel it. There's a big, tremendous, humongous difference. They are here because they want to. Back then, they were just using it. Buy gas and keep on going. The town did not have an identity. The town now has an identity. The only town from Chicago to Santa Monica that has the identity where Route 66 got its historic rebirth against all odds.
Angel Delgadillo is nicknamed Father of the Mother Road by now. Without his initiative, the legend of Route 66 might have been forgotten. We leave Seligman with a population of 500, the birthplace of the historical Route 66. Our next destination, Kingman, Arizona. The travel itinerary now leads over one of the most beautiful and important sections of Route 66. The Seligman-Kingman route is part of the longest, still intact stretch of Route 66. Again and again, the historic road has been changed, supplemented, redirected, or simply shut down. So you often find yourself on a modern highway again, although you have always followed the signs for Route 66, or suddenly you're in a dead end. To escape this, it is advisable to go for historical maps detailing the old route, and such cards are available from any petrol station for $5 US, or in the numerous souvenir shops. Another tip for the full Route 66 feeling, one should travel in a convertible, and that's why one should already book a rental car from home. So you can reserve a Chevrolet Camaro, Ford Mustang, and a similar vehicle for just under 40 euros a day. Even more authentic is for sure a vintage car, but that can quickly be expensive and is actually recommended only for proven mechanics. On our 150-kilometer day leg from Seligman to Kingman, the striking asphalt stamp is seen again and again. Historic Route 66. They are found exclusively on listed road sections. As we arrive at dusk in Kingman, we notice many lovingly restored classics from the 50s gathering at a drive-in.
Well, this dates back to many, many years ago when we were teenagers. That's what we used to do. You had what we called cruising State Street or cruising Main Street. You just went up and down the main drag all night long, Friday night, Saturday night, wanting to meet girls, maybe an occasional drag race. We had an old joke way back when. You on a race? Well, let's get up to 100 miles an hour, and then let's get it on. Okay, that's part of what we did when we were growing up. That's what we do now, even as gray-haired and whatever. I remember way back when, growing up in high school, everybody would say, well, cars don't get you girls. Well, we both know that's not correct. The guys with the coolest cars had the guys with the coolest girls.
The rule of thumb still seems to apply today. You only find hot old cars and hot old girls there, says Jan Spradling, who also officially has to do with the Route 66. Once a year in May, the so-called Fun Run takes place, and Jan is one of the organizers in Kingman.
The object is to go and drive the length of the longest stretch of Highway 66 left, where you can go for, I think it's 151 to 156 miles, depending on who's telling the story. And that's from Seligman to Topon.
Once you've been there, you'll be back. And there are more and more people who want to experience the 3-day event.
I'm limited to 850 cars is all I can, all the city will allow me because of parking and everything like that. And we have cars from, naturally, the United States. I have them from Canada. Now, just this last May, I had them from Germany, France, Spain, Belgium, Italy, Australia, and Canada.
The fascination of Route 66 is obvious to Jan.
Morning, Joe. It's just like the first time you ever had, the first time you had apple pie. Warm apple pie with an ice cream, vanilla ice cream cone on it. You see these people eating the pie, well, what's the big deal about the pie? Then you take a taste of it. And it's the same way with traveling Route 66.
That probably says everything. It's getting late, and now it's time to quickly find a place to stay. No problem. Almost the entire Route 66 is lined with innumerable motels and accommodations. From modern franchise hotels, from small family pensions, to lovingly restored hotels of the past decades. If you have any special wishes, you should make sure beforehand if there are vacancies available. Next time, we'll be busy with bizarre and historic accommodations along the highway. In addition, we meet historian and author Jim Hinckley, who tells us about the history of the road and the newly formed ghost towns. We also visit Willie in his desert junkyard, which houses an impressive collection of hundreds of beetles. And we're dealing with constant change of the historic road. All this in part 2 of our Route 66 special.